Hello, welcome to the Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. I'm joined by the Twitch chat, and number one, I was right. I told you Chaos Dwarves are coming out. I said they would arrive. In fact, I don't need these anymore. I can take this off. I said that they would emerge, and I was correct. The Chaos Dwarves are here in Age of Sigmar. Let's have a look at what got showcased. It's incredible. There's an incredibly massive release on the way. God, it's good to be right. Okay, right. Let's have a look. Amid the thundering of infernal artifice and the scaling heat of the demon forges, the mortal realms quake once more as the Helsmiths of Hashut. I can't believe I'm actually saying this. Like, I'm so excited. This is amazing. The Helsmiths of Hashut assume their place among the forces of chaos. And also, inside a game, finally, they are legal. They are a fully fleshed out army. It's amazing. These are the Zaradron, Dwarden whose ancestors fell under the fiery sway of Hashut in eras past. They've embraced their corruption, and in the Age of Sigmar, they have the very personification of dark industry, weaponized arrogance, and unbridled cruelty. Okay. So we get a launch box, which is exciting. The Zaradron have been hinted at through the 10 real-world years of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, spiritual successors of the Chaos Dwarves who once terrorized the world that was. And after a decade of clues, rumors, and hints, they're finally here in a fantastic army set. So this is the first new army in 4 years since Kruleboyz came out, which is very exciting for Age of Sigmar fans. And I think, before we go any further, if you are watching this and you plan on getting them, let me know in the comments below. I always am excited to find out, like, you know, the general, like, my excitement for this is so personal. It's been such a journey of how pumped I've been for this army for such a long time. So yes, this is very high for me, but I want to know what the general consensus of the community is. So let me know in the comments. So this seems to be the FOMO box or the launch box or the army set. They have said that this will be something like, this will be a spearhead, which is pretty interesting. So it looks like you get 10 infantry, a hero, an artillery piece, and you also get our big bull model, which we'll talk about in a moment. One of the things that always comes up when these sorts of things are showcased, getting 2 copies of the book is not something you really would like to do, but you could probably double dip on the army or on the box, getting 20 infantry, getting 2 of the big war machine, which is a dual kit, getting 2 of the big monster, which is a dual kit. So it's very possible that you can get a couple of these boxes and start to flesh out an army early. Let me know what you think. Inside the box, you'll find entire spearheads worth of miniatures. I will be covering that spearhead on my spearhead channel. Spearheads worth of miniatures alongside a brand new battle tome, Helsmiths of Hashut, and War Scroll cards. I hope they show you the book later because I really want to talk about the artwork. Leading the charge is the War Despot, a leader within the ziggurat fortress of the Zaradron, swollen by dark power and clad in imposing armor. They see their thrall hosts as extensions of their own conquering ambition. Underlings are driven on relentless, expected to triumph or perish, while the despot's rivals fall beneath their blades. Weapons acquired at a terrible price and empowered by the most dangerous demonic essences. So now we're taking a closer look at one of the minis. One of the things they did say in the preview article, and they might say, or preview video, and they might say also again in here, is that this green glow, which very much we feel is a kind of Skaven imagery, is the trapped souls of demons. So Chaos Dwarves always like messed around with trapping demons inside machines. That's what the Hell Cannon was about, as an example. Kadai Fireborn, Kadai Destroyers, that's their element. So immediately, I will say off the bat, I like the brass rune armor, but the green, as soon as we swap that out and paint that red, as soon as we give that a flame motif, which someone is going to do, this will look like the Chaos Dwarfs we were expecting to see. In fact, actually, again, in the preview video, they showed you some alternate paint schemes. One of them was the classic red and gold like trim. It looked amazing. So I'm not too unhappy with this. And actually, the green is really starting to glow on me. Grow and glow on me. But I do feel like I would do like a fire version. But also a purple version would look super sick. Like a pink version would also look really good. But the idea of trapping demonic souls in there is fun. And I do like the big glaive It's very cool. The Blackheart of the Zaradron Warhost are formed of the Infernal cohorts, drawn in the main from the stock of the royal clans. The finery and pomp of these Dwarden clad themselves in does not detract from their pitiless martial skill. Many of their regiments take to battle wielding spears, ablaze with demonic energy, forming a wall of death that advances to the sound of arcane gongs and grinds down the foe without mercy. I'm assuming we're going to get either a 4-up or a 3-up infantry that gets like anti-charge as a mechanic. Fine. That's okay. Perhaps most importantly, they are accompanied by Hobgrats carrying a massive gong. So this is our infantry unit, which I am super excited about. Does it tell us more about these here? No, it doesn't. Okay, so I feel like these may be a dual kit because we definitely have a sword and board variant. And then we also, oh my God, we're going back to Gong Bowie in a minute. But the spear versions initially is quite shocking because you would expect either axe or hammer because they're dwarves. But I really like this. Obviously, they're running with the Assyrian, like Byzantine vibe for these guys. I love the heater shields. I think the heater shields are amazing. And again, in that alternate paint scheme that I've seen earlier, they're amazing. They're so good. I love the scale mail. These look better the more I look at them. I think initially I was like, okay, these aren't the Forge World dwarfs that you originally started collecting, but these are very cool big-hatted dwarfs for sure. They've got lots and lots of stuff to them. I love the heater shields and I love also the sword variants. I think they look great. I wouldn't mind a hammer variant either. I also like that maybe we're getting some blood of Hashut little potion pots on the armor as well. Now, many people are going to be talking about the Gong Grot. The Gong Grot is maybe going to take everyone's hearts here. Having to carry around a gong so he can get slammed by these guys is very funny. But yeah, an excellent addition and adds a nice bit of humor and mirth to what we expect to see from Chaos Dwarves. They are like a little silly. They're also very serious, but a little silly. I'm over the moon with this infantry unit. I think they look amazing. Very much like the updated Fireslayers that we saw, the Warcry warband that looked just so regal. They've really started to understand how to sculpt at this scale and add the quality. And sure, there's loads of bits. This isn't an army you can necessarily paint super quick, but it looks so nice. I love that we've also got a lot of big banners as well. There's also a character with a giant axe, and I'm hoping maybe there's a dual kit version with a dual axe where we got two-handed axe weapons, and then the other version is like a shield and sword variant. And then maybe we've got, and maybe it's all three. That would probably be pretty crazy. But if we did end up with that, you could potentially have 3 different war scrolls from one infantry kit. So that could be quite interesting. Right. I love these. I think these are amazing. I think each infantry squad has a special weapon per 10. Oh, that could be also a thing as well. A special weapon per 10 is also another version of what could be what we see. That's a really smart point. Yeah, for sure. Okay, next up, the artillery piece. It's very exciting. I need to see the back of these artillery pieces. I'll say why in a moment. The vicious artillery piece is the Tormentor Bombard, a mortar-like weapon that lobs high shots into the air to fall upon the Helsmiths foes. These are no ordinary munitions, but instead are raw stuff of chaos, crackling cores of dark energy formed through refined processed demons that explode with terrible force. So, there we go. We've got 2 versions of this. So a dual kit is also great because it just is. That means you've got 2 versions of this. Twice the chance of it being good, twice the chance of it being effective, which is nice. I like the Bombard. I also love the Hellstorm rocket battery, or the Deathstreaker rocket battery as well. Kit also includes the option to build a Deathstreaker rocket battery whose warheads bubble with the wicked fire of the Bullfather, a demonic chemical flame that ignites on contact with the air and rips across the field with a sentient hunger. So that'll be exciting to see what that does, rules-wise. Yeah, these look great as well. Again, imagine them painted with flames and red. This is fun. Now, we have seen, this is a huge roster, by the way. I can't wait to talk about the rest of it. But looking into the future, looking into Wave 2, we obviously all wanted there also to be a demon train. I am hoping that the back of these kits, I've been trying to see, I'm hoping the back of these kits does end up having a little bit of a train hook available to it so that eventually the train in the future might be something that we see. But for now, they look great. I'm looking forward to this. Also, one of the things as I go through this roster's got a very great profile. It's got a really good silhouette as an army. We've got infantry, or combat infantry, missile infantry, war machines, monsters, cavalry. So there's a real good profile for how this army will look on the table, which I think is also really good as well. Okay, so the Dominator engine next embodies the Bullfather's urge to topple and crush, anointed with the blood of Dwarden, who defy glorious Hashut. So this is actually quite small. They got this out on the screen, and this wasn't much bigger than the Bull Centaurs. I think maybe even smaller than the Goat Mountains from LRL, like a little bit smaller than that. Or maybe just about the same size. So actually not as big as maybe it appears here. Again, this roiling flame, these runes etched into the armor would be very cool to, like, you know, see some OSL or some other stuff in here. This is really fun. It's a little bit goofy as well, in a way that I really want it to be goofy. Like, that's fun. That's very, very cool. I was kind of expected the whole range to be more goofy. So I'm actually happy that we've just got a little bit of fun here. This is like a fun little addition. And you can see it's got a double cannon build, which is fun. And there's also a double mace build. With these ironclad demon engines, turns an inferno of tormented demon matter and the malice of those entities leaking from their eyes into hateful waves. They can be armed with bane maces or immolation cannons, and either option will guarantee a bad time for the foe. So potentially we've got mortal damage coming out of the big guns. Maybe not as good as a combat profile. You would hope this thing is going to have like a 3-up/2-up save, and it's kind of the Bastiladon of the Chaos Dwarves. So you would hope we're going to get a big armor save for these as well, which is obviously good. It feels like it should be an elite army. So there we go. The Battle Tome features a stunning cover exclusive to this set. It's overflowing with lore and art and rules for the Helsmiths of Hashut. We learn how they came to be and how they perfected the appalling art of binding and enslaving demons to power their unnatural weapons. Importantly, we discover just who or what Hashut is and how he relates to Grungi, Grimnir, Valia, and Gazul, who are the other dwarven gods. So the front cover is a great question. The front cover is amazing. I do wonder what all of you think of the front cover. I personally, first look, yeah, again, you just flip the colors. They can't do fire because they have the Fire Slayers, right? But also, one of the things I made a video about what is great about Age of Sigmar. And what's great about Age of Sigmar is it challenges your traditional fantasy takes. It says to you, we're doing Assyrian dwarfs and it could easily be fire. And then they just flip it. And they say, we're going to do something exactly what you kind of thought, but not quite. And I've loved that. It always reminds me of the Vengori Lords from Soulblight Gravelords. You're like, okay, I wasn't expecting a centaur vampire thing, but actually it's quite brave. And, you know, they're really defining their own place in the setting. And I think that's great. So, because it would be really reductive and easy to have just done flames. So I like that. I'm going with it. I have my Legion of Asgore book. I have a version of Chaos Dwarves like that. This is giving me something new. I'm grateful to get something new. Helsmiths are a formidable elite army, even by regular Dwarden standards. They harness enslaved demons to embolden their spellcraft and source of weapons. The Battle Tome also contains 2 regiments of renown for all Chaos armies to use, Path to Glory rules, and more. You also get 32 War Scroll and enhancement cards in the launch box. Feels like a lot, although I assume some of those are also going to be Spearhead cards. So I don't think there'll be 32 unit entries. But we'll see, because there's a lot. But that's not all. That's everything in the army set, but this is only the tip of the ziggurat. There'll be more to come in the Helsmiths of Hashut in a few months after the box drops. So you've got Demon Smiths are immersed in the dark magics of the sinister patron Hashut. They are masters of empowering war engines and demonic power. When not hurling demon fire at the foe, the Demon Smith can heal war machines and its natural engines. I tell you what is really good about the rest of the army coming later is that the Battle Tome will be out and you'll be able to say to yourselves, okay, I don't necessarily need 3 of these things because they're not very good. And I can wait, because building and painting a new army will take you months. So that gives you some time to scale. You're like, you know, if you get a launch box, or you get a couple of launch boxes, that's 20 infantry, 2 war machines, 2 monsters to build and paint. That will take that will take quite a bit of time. So that's an amazing sculpt. I love everything about that. Also reminds me of the OG resin sculpt that had a very similar vibe. If you remember the Demon Smith that used to look like this. I also like that Demon Smiths are just back in canon now. That's cool. I love that. This kit can also make an Ashen Elder, and I love that it's a dual kit. That's great. A priest of Hashut charged with performing grim rituals in the name of the Bullfather. Or a priest. They draw power from the desolation and ransack the earth. And those Helsmiths units near enough to the Ashen Elder can shrug off grievous wounds in battle. I mean, having a wizard and also a priest means that you're likely in the book to have both a spell lore and a prayer lore. And that's huge because it gives you more options to do things in the game. One of the things, we've just looked at the Carriage and Overlord's Battle Tome as an example. They don't have prayers. They also don't have spells. So they really are limited in what they can add on to their roster. But now you've got both spell lore and a prayer lore, and you're running dwarves. That's a lot of stuff. It's very cool. The iconic, and also it's a great sculpt. It's maybe one of my favorites, this guy, actually. The iconic bull centaurs are, oh my God, I'm so happy about this. The iconic bull centaurs are integral now to Zaradron as they were to the Chaos Dwarfs before them. They used to be the guardians of the temples. Blessed by Hashut, these twisted beasts have upper body of Dwardin and the hindquarters of a monstrous bull. Their charge is powerful enough to trample and kill the enemy even before their brazen mauls fall with crushing force. And it's a dual kit, which is crazy. Again, cavalry, it's a unit of 3, probably reinforceable up to 6. So I'm hoping we end up with like at least a 4-up armor save on these guys, which is pretty nice. They won't be super fast, but you know, these might be like a Croxigor kind of cavalry unit. Like I very much doubt they're similar to Varangard, but they could be similar to those. But you know, I'm hoping we end up with like a Croxigor vibe to these, which is very good. Very, very cool. The priest can only use a hammer. Okay. Only the priest can use a hammer. Okay, interesting. Right, they can also be built as anointing sentinels, guardians of the shrines and holy places, clad in Hashatar masks, within which swirl vapors and focus their devotion to their foul god. As such, they are especially dangerous on the counterattack, where they strike with blinding speed despite their vast bulk. Maybe a 3d6 countercharge. Nice. Nice. And again, what's good about having a dual kit is potentially having a dual role. Maybe this version of the Bull Centaurs, the anointed, sorry, not the anointed Sentinels, the Bull Centaurs, maybe they are more of a defensive tank version in ongoing combat. And maybe the Infernal Razors are just great at like charging and doing damage and like less armored, but they just do more damage, which is great. I love that. That's cool. Now, this is not what I was expecting, but I am so pumped about it. Another kit with dual options are the Infernal Razors. Bring fire support to the Helsmiths. They set of 5 models, can be built with either the Grismalock Blunderbussies or the Carathrong Flame Hurlers. The Blunderbussies, oh my God. And again, paint these red, change the paint scheme so the skin tone is slightly different. I think they're very muted. The paint scheme is super muted. If anyone does this, like if you do like a rogue hobby style, like bright color scheme, this will just go nuts. This will immediately be like crazy. And again, I love these. So unit of 5, reinforceable up to unit of 10, but 2 different weapon options. And unlike KO, like Thunderers, it's not really confusing where it's like, okay, you've got one weapon and another weapon. It's just a full unit of 5 with either a flamethrower or a blunderbussy, which is great. So it means you can either have like little minimum units of 5 or a couple of units of 10 or whatever you need, which would be good. Very, very cool. Very cool. And again, so now you've got, yeah, we'll keep talking and I'll recap at the end. So we've also got Hobgrats. Zaradron are not alone in the Axe of Malice. They are vassals in the repugnant form, how dare you, of the Hobgrat Vandals whose march beside them. These are mobs of spiteful, jeering thugs, and while neither respected nor trusted by the Zaradron, they are nonetheless a useful tool for brokering deals with the Cruel Boys, or dying in their droves as they wear down the foe. So this looks like it's a unit of 20, which is crazy. The reason that's crazy is we've now got a situation where we've got like 10 infantry are like sword and shield guys, so it's probably 10 or 20. So they're your Chaos Warrior equivalents. Then you've got cavalry, kind of like Agrodon Lancers in your Bull Centaurs. You've got small little pockets of elite shooting like Thunderers as well. And now you can have like 20 Hobgrats, probably reinforceable up to 40, and you've got yourself like a Skaven version of the army. So, you know, if you're looking to get like more bodies on the board, I'm going to take 2 units of 40 Hobgrats. That's going to be my screens. great. And then behind them, I'm going to put a big monster, a war machine, a wizard. Like, that means that and then I've got spell casting, I've got prayer casting. That's a very wide roster. I talk about this a lot. Like some rosters just have a lot of scope to build different army styles. And most armies don't have a 20 reinforceable up to a 40 unit. That gives this real scope to be very, very interesting. Like Steel Helms are a good example from Cities of Sigmar. They're only 10 reinforceable up to 20. So they're kind of weird in that Chaos Warriors, which are also 10 reinforceable up to 20, are always just better. Sure, they're more expensive, but they're just better. It'd be better if Steel Helms are 20 up to 40, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, the Hobgrats look great. They're very cruel. I like this guy's missing a leg. Actually, a couple of them are missing a leg. That doesn't seem very fair. They're armed. They're very peasant. You know, they've got very kind of like 14th century like peasant vibe. They've got these little hats, which are very cute, and I like that. Legs are the weak point. They've got these little buckler shields, which are also cool. And again, painted very dark and drab. You could make these brighter if you wanted to. Very, very cool. Oh boy. And now we get into it. So Uruk-Tar is an ancient figure among the Helsmiths, so aged that he is said to have studied under the gaze of Hashut, the father of darkness himself. So Chaos Dwarves, when they do magic, they slowly start to turn into stone. And here we have our like Talia Vedra centerpiece model, which is a brazen bull full of demon energy, with a wizard on top, exactly like Drazoath the Ashen. Chaos Dwarf fans will know what I'm talking about. I'm sure there's many people who are watching this video actually who are like, I have no idea what any of this is. Like, Chaos Dwarves are a new kind of faction to me. This is what Drazoath the Ashen looked like, which was one of the 8th edition models, and it's great to see this. It is interesting that they've gone for this being a like literal mechanical machine, like mechanical thing, whereas previously this was an actual type of like creature. It was a bull centaur. What was it? A Bale Taurus. It was a Bale Taurus. So like now they've gone for a mechanical version, but this is also very cool. I think maybe this is the one bit where I'm like, I would have liked that to be an organic, but I'm just riding with it right now. Just like, okay, that's great. I love him doing the stupid magic at the top. That's ludicrous. Okay, that's fine. He's being unrestrained in malice and incredible power, but it comes at a cost. Especially as afflicted by magical petrification that curses all sorcerers of Zardron. He rides on Gorax, an infernal Taurus of prodigious strength, born into battle on a pulpit mounted on the beast's back. And here you can see we've got a bunch of flags, which is also great to see as well. And you can see him turning into stone slowly. That stone at the back is great. Once other painters get this as well, alternative paint schemes are going to make this blow up. Yeah, and also Malk's about to point out something like really big that's also really important to talk about. Alternatively, you can build this kit as an unnamed demon smith, perfect for adding your own unique flavor to your army. This variant has optional heads, allowing you to build a demon smith rider as either the son or daughter of Hashut. Very based, very based. Also, we get a different head option. I think we get a different head option, but we also get these 2 big flags, which I'm super about. Oh, you also get a head option with smoke coming out of the gem. Love that. Yeah, so this is really cool because everything in this army is a dual kit. Now, that is terrible for me personally because my bank balance is not happy about that because I obviously want I want the named version. I want the non-named version. Do I want 2 of the non-named version? I don't know. Who knows? But this is going to be a very expensive time in the Honest Wargamer family. Let me tell you. On top of all these incredible new miniatures, there will be 2 further editions of the Battle Tome. The Standard Edition and the Gamers Edition. So these are the other versions. And again, like I said, like I've said before, this kind of like turquoise color change is taking me time to get used to. When I paint them, I will just do classic red and gold. But I think and also the paint scheme is, I think, in some places a little drab. And I think if someone like Rogue Hobbies gets a hold of this, she'll be able to make, especially the Demon Smiths, pop in a certain way. I think very recently there was that really weird Khorne warband where we saw a very muted color palette not be very, like, not really impressed. And I feel like some of that has happened with the paint jobs. But I can see the power of the sculpts. And I can see, especially if you start going down the route of doing, you know, like a grimdark, oil washes, OSL vibe, I think you can do some very interesting people here for sure. Interesting things. Also, there's some other stuff that's also missing. No terrain piece. So you would expect there to be a terrain piece. All of the armies in Age of Sigmar so far have gained terrain pieces. No manifestations. You would expect there to be manifestations as well, which we also haven't been previewed. So I'm assuming those are going to come as well. So yeah, this is pretty much everything I could have wanted, but also it's more in a way because they actually also have created a very broad army. I've got missile infantry, combat infantry. I've got double combat cavalry. I've got war machines. I have a giant horde brick, which I'm really excited about. I think that's good as well. I've got spells and I've got prayers. That's pretty cool. Everything's a dual kit, which I think is sick. So, you know, when you're talking about the unit roster, if we actually think about it, you've got double, so 2 from the big monster kit here. You've got Hobgrats for 3. You've got double shooters for 5. You've got double ball centaurs for 7. You have a double hero on foot for 9. You then have a double monster for 11, double war machine for 13. You then you have 2 infantry builds for 15, and you got this other character for 16. And that does not include your terrain piece, or it does not include, and they have shown off, there's these weird little barrel shapes as well, which you've seen a couple of times. So maybe that'll be something to do with the terrain feature as well. So 15 kits, 15 units that you can play with. Feels like this is, yeah, bigger than some AOS armies straight out the box. I'm tired because I'm so excited and I've really enjoyed this. This has been really fun and it's really nice to see this in the world. I'm really happy about it. I think a lot of people will be excited about it. I also think, and for Age of Sigmar as a community, but also as a game system, this might bring a lot of people in from other systems. It might make people be like, wow, if they're getting more army releases for Age of Sigmar, this game is just doing bigger and better, which it is. Like, loads of people enjoying playing the game right now. So I think people are going to be very excited about this. Maybe we will be years away from stage 2 of this roster, like Fire Slayers have been like literally 10 years away. But I think people are going to be excited. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this. I actually almost forgot that there is also more Chaos Dwarfs coming out, but in Warhammer Underworld. But some amazing new models showcase it. I don't personally play Underworld or cover Underworld, so I don't really know if that's a good thing for Underworld. But we get a new Underworld warband here, the Blood of the Bull, including this fun, like, Hobgrat assassin. We get this amazing, like, lady dwarf demon smith and a little guy with a gun. Now, these are obviously amazing kits for either just like swapping in and out of units if you want your unit champion to just look a little bit cooler, if you want to have an alternate character to be the leader or your general, or, you know, like swap out who you're playing with. So these are really fun. And the models are just exceptional. Love these. These are really great. They've got some story. These Dwarden love nothing more than delving treasure tokens to get... Oh, no, that's how it plays. Okay, so while awaiting reinforcements from a home ziggurat, she leads a warband of Dwarden who owe her a raft of debts. Marudo, Imdrin, and Torkar the Immolator. Also accompanying them is Grizik Backstabber, a Hobgrat of Zuldraka, employs as a furtive scout and assassin. Her goal, burn down the very heart of the Spitewood. So they got these big, ridiculous blades, loads of detail on these. Again, these are characters that painters, I assume you're going to see some of these in Golden Demon entries in the future. But to immediately get a Underworld's warband and maybe a Warcry warband not far off in the future is exciting. So even more models come in. That's cool to see. Thanks for watching my videos. I'll see you soon. Bye.